Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm John.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look back at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies, and we're breaking them all the way down.
John,
Hey, brother.
we have been on a journey
From New York to the
to the
fifth
deep
dimension to Chattanooga to Confederama to now the city of Atlanta.
south, our home turf.
That's right. At least we are ending on familiar ground, and
This
for that
is-
I'm grateful.
I remember very few movies that ever have, especially from this era, that ever featured Atlanta.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's not popular,
Nah.
especially at the time. It's kind of a dark place.
There's a movie that I need to watch called New Jack that had, I think, Mick Jagger
Yeah.
and somebody. It wasn't Burt Reynolds.
I know
Was
what
it
you're
Christian
talking about.
Slater? No, I'm looking it up right now. You fill some time. Do you want to try to catch us up on the plot while I look something up, or I can try to?
Yeah, well, I mean, all that's happened is
New
that in the last episode, in the last couple of episodes, the good guys tried to save Pearl the cyborg, who has the key to the cure for the plague in this post-apocalyptic wasteland, from these bad guys led by Fender. Fender is responsible for the murder of Gibson's adopted family. Fender also kidnapped one of the members of that family and has made her part of the crew. And the robot refused to go with the good guys because she's got some long game she's trying to play.
you're not strong enough.
You're not strong enough. And so when the bad guys give chase, the good guys run, but the bad guys catch them, overwhelm them, and crucify Gibson. And then we see in the flashback all the stuff that's happened between Fender, the bad guy, and Gibson, the good guy. And then Gibson halfway frees himself, and then Natty the rest of the way frees herself. And then as the last episode ended, the bad guys have rolled up into Atlanta or on the outskirts. And so we're gonna see
Which is supposed to be the last vestiges of like civilization,
right.
but it's just another ruins.
Yeah.
It's odd to me.
Maybe it's
Like-
got like in the Last of Us, there's like a quarantine zone in the middle of the city that's
like
like a community that's
or
still
Law and
safe.
Order or something.
But actually, it wouldn't be in downtown. It'd be like more out towards like where I live, like East Atlanta, and Decatur, and Emory, where the CDC is.
Okay, so I'm gonna in my drunken state, I'm gonna
Hit
try
it.
to read you the name of the movie was Free Jack.
Uh-huh.
I might have said New Jack, but it's called Free
Yeah.
Jack. 1992. The plot is that an auto racer, Alex Furlong, that's played by Emilio Estevez, was the lead. He's snatched by time travel a split second before a fatal explosion by Vasendax, that's Mick Jagger's 21st century team of techies who plan to sell his healthy body to an ailing rich man for a mind transfer. Then he escapes. He has no rights in this nightmare future of violence and sleaze. As the story concerns his survival, his attempt to revive his relationship with his fiancee,
Holy shit.
who's now 15 years older. I feel like I need to watch this, but
Yeah,
I
we
also
definitely
think
need to watch this.
I also feel like it was set in Atlanta.
We need to watch this. We need to review this movie.
Possibly a double blind taste test.
I can't think of a single other Mick Jagger film.
No, he probably realized. All I remember is those horrible music videos he put out, like in Dancing in the Streets, like him and
Oh,
Bowie.
with Bowie? Yeah, but that was kind of lovely.
I
Especially,
mean, it's great to see those two legends,
uh-huh.
but also Jagger's not that dude. I don't think. Like
No.
to be, you need to just be on stage peacocking around or
Yeah.
whatever you do. Yeah, that's free, Jack. I want to watch it for sure. It's got to stream somewhere.
Should we just pause this, or maybe we'll just watch this and record us watching it?
We'll be right back. We'll be right back. 2 hours later, we're going to watch Free Jack. I'm going to find it and
starring
watch it.
Emilio Estevez.
Right after I watch Best of the Best Part 2. starring Wayne Newton, Sonny Lanham.
Wayne Newton's the bad guy, right?
He is like crony to the bad guy played by Ralph Muller from this movie.
Yeah, that's right, Ralph
whatever
Muller.
his name is from Gladiator.
Hagen.
What a fucking legend he was in Gladiator.
Yeah,
like
he
what
was
a
awesome.
presence he had.
He was amazing.
Physical presence. Like fucking training up the gladiators from that one stable of gladiators.
We who are about to die salute you.
Absolutely. He died, didn't he?
Yeah, he got killed.
Did he get killed when he was escaping or something?
He got killed. He got killed when they were trying to get Maximus out of the compound. And then Maximus ended up
I feel like I remember a bunch of dudes stabbing him down.
Yeah, that was rough. Commodus died. Not Commodus, but the old gladiator. He died too.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Me neither.
I'm pretty drunk.
Sometimes the bourbon helps. Sometimes the bourbon harms.
I can't wait to drive home.
Put you in the car. Just drive as fast as you can so you get there faster.
I'm gonna beat them. I'm gonna beat the cops. You can't get me if I'm home.
I'm not driving anymore. Oh, fuck.
Anyway,
we do not condone that.
No, my gosh, no.
And
Don't
thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about Cyborg now.
Yeah, we're going to close this shit
the
down.
Ultimate episode. The
this
episode
is the
that comes
ultimate.
after the penultimate.
That's right. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and dive right in.
Yeah.
So we open on a wide shot of Fender and his crew making their way down the highway through a Walking Dead-looking Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is collapsed or destroyed, and it's dark and looks like a storm's a-coming.
I feel like that was a pretty decent map painting, like effect shot, that one.
Yeah, and you can kind of see the bad guys like
Yeah, it was cool.
trolling along. Cut over to Gibson, who's unwinding some bandages that he had on his impaled wrists.
I don't know what was in those bandages, but he's healed up
How
nicely.
much time has passed? I feel like time has to have passed because it's only like just vague bruising and some tiny little holes.
Well, not enough. I'll tell you that. Because I feel like that would be weeks or months before you could move your hands again.
He'd have to have surgery for the nerve damage. He wouldn't be able to ball his fist like that.
No. But a little Google map searching tells you basically if you are walking from Charleston to Atlanta, it takes about 100 hours
Okay.
of walking time. So, I don't know, 10 days, 7 days, something like that, a week and a half.
Where would you be coming in? On 20?
I don't
from
know what was the
Charleston
fastest
eventually?
walking route. In
Yeah,
this,
that's a
you
good point.
probably would walk along the interstate,
Yeah.
but I don't know. That's what they're doing. We keep seeing them walking through like forests and
Yeah.
shit. But his hands, it's a scratch now.
Yeah.
It's a barely a scratch. It's a
barely.
scab.
It's
I've got a scab on my wrist here.
Well, I'm a fast sealer. Of course, I've always believed in Jesus. So we get a pan up from a sign that's been stenciled with Atlanta, and we pan up and see that Gibson and Natty are perched on a little wall or something.
I feel like these are clearly the same sets that were New York earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like
it
they
looks
just
like
changed out the
I thought the same
sign.
thing. I was like, oh, okay, we're back in the same
It's
area
just
as before.
dark. It's dark now.
So they've somehow broken the laws of space and time again and arrived in Atlanta before Fender
Who had at least, I feel like, a 12-hour head start on him.
and wasn't crucified.
No. He was near dead when they took him off that cross, and now they've beaten him to Atlanta.
So maybe because it's just the two of them, they move faster despite Natty's multiple concussions and Gibson having been literally crucified and nearly beaten to death. We'll just have to assume that's what happened. So Gibson seems to give Natty a weapon or something, and in breaking with convention, he seems fine letting her run off by herself. So maybe she's proven her mettle, and he's like, yeah.
And I feel like maybe on the 100-hour hike, they've discussed what their plan is.
Right.
Because they don't discuss it now, but something's going on.
So Gibson, meanwhile, now has a bow and arrow set up that he found somewhere along the way.
Absolutely.
And he and Natty appear to be setting up to lie in wait for Fender and the gang. Just as Natty ducks into some bushes, the bad guys arrive precisely where Gibson knew they would. I appreciate that Fender is running point.
Yes.
Hasn't sent a punk goon or something else to the front of the line. As the bad guys move single file into this open area, we cut to a shot of Gibson atop his little tower. Did he build that tower?
I don't know.
Or was it
think
already there?
I feel like it had to have been there.
So he takes an aim with his bow and arrow. He shoots an arrow at Fender's feet to get his attention, I guessed. Then Fender and Haley, they look up and spot Gibson. Gibson gives a look as if to say, I could have killed you, which begs the question, why didn't you fucking kill him?
Yeah.
Why didn't you shoot him in the head?
Yes, absolutely.
Fender's amused by this. He gives this like wry smile. There's a stare down, and all of Fender's pirates start getting ready to brawl. Everyone's unsheathing knives, lots of knives. Everyone's got 2 knives, 1 knife in each hand.
Yes.
Gibson, instead of shooting any of the pirates, maybe that was his only arrow.
I think that was his only arrow.
Why?
And he missed
why?
on purpose.
To prove a point.
He squandered the element of surprise.
We cut.
One good shot, you could have killed, well, maybe not killed Fender. I don't know how supernatural or superhuman he is, but you could have fucked him up a little bit.
Shoot him in the head.
Absolutely, put him through his blue eyeball.
So yeah, we get these cut shots of Pearl, Haley, and Fender, who are all probably wondering, why did he throw away the superior weapon capability in this fight? But anyway, Gibson draws his knife and puts it in his teeth. Then we get a ridiculous stare down between Fender, who probably can't see shit in his dirty ass sunglasses.
It's dark and raining, and he's wearing glasses.
And his glasses are covered in a film of mud. And Gibson's got his fucking sword in his mouth, and this looks so stupid. It looks so dumb. That knife is too big to be in his mouth. Anyway, finally Fender yells, "Move!" And his pirates break into action. Gibson jumps down to meet them. 3 guys converge on him immediately. The first guy takes a swipe, but Gibson kick blocks him, cuts the dude's throat or slices his face. We don't know because we never see the guy again, so we have to assume he's dead.
That was the dude, Jackson Rock Pinkney.
That's the dude that he blinded.
I don't know if it happened in this particular scene or somewhere else in the movie, but this was the dude, that apparently Van Damme accidentally blinded this dude, cost him the sight of one of his eyes
for life.
And he sued Van Damme and got some sort of payment out of it.
400 and something thousand.
Is that how much?
480 something. Like basically,
that is
almost
not enough.
Almost the budget of this movie.
That's not enough for losing an eye for life.
I meant to look up.
Yeah, that was the
considering
dude.
Inflation, what that would be in today's dollars.
Probably double it or triple it. Maybe it's not enough.
For an eye to lose an eye.
But that was the dude. I don't know if that was the shot, but he did swipe across his face, so maybe he did get too close on the take.
And then the guy never appeared in another shot, so we have to assume that he killed him or blinded him. So it's not immediately clear. But anyway, on to the next guy. The next guy tries to kick Gibson, but Gibson blocks and stabs him in the heart. While that guy screams his death wail, a third guy drops down from a little hill, or I can't tell if it's rubble and just trees have grown out of it. But anyway, Gibson just swats him away with a high kick. Pearl is like, yeah, I like this.
She's impressed by the dude who was not strong enough to get me to Atlanta.
Okay. So Gibson whirls around and sees Pearl flanked by 2 more pirates, one of whom lines up a shot on Gibson, the same guy that tried to shoot him earlier, or maybe did shoot him earlier.
Okay.
So Pearl
yells, the black dude with the beard?
Yeah. Pearl yells, "No!" and grabs at the gun, and the other pirate grabs at her. Just then, Natty jumps out from her hiding spot and cuts the gun guy's head right the fuck off, we think.
They didn't quite show it, but I feel like that's what happened.
She either slits his throat or cuts his head right off, and I kind of got the vibe, based on the shots that they edited together, that the head came off. So I'm not sure whether she stabs the other guy or just pushes him down. But anyway, Haley and Fender whirl around in time to see Natty trying to whisk Pearl away. Other pirates give chase, and the studded bra pirate from early in the movie,
the super buff one,
well, the more attractive of the
the super buff one got her hand cut off. This one was low key hot as hell.
Yeah, she hasn't been in the movie since the first scene.
Is that right?
And now she's back.
Okay.
So she reappears and disrobes for action.
Hell yes.
Natty and Pearl enter a building, and Pearl stumbles and falls down. And I guess it knocks her out. So
that was pro wrestling referee shit. A gentle fall to the ground. I'm out for 10 to 15 minutes.
Exactly. So a pirate bursts in, and Natty whacks him twice with a stool.
She beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, she kills him. So then Bra Pirate runs in. Natty disarms her with the stool, but Bra Pirate knocks her back with a backhand.
We got it. There's a cat fight going on in whatever this was.
Cat fight. So outside, the rain's coming down in earnest. Gibson and a final featured pirate circle each other, and this should have been Anthony Kiedis.
You think?
They should have saved this
I feel
fight.
like this dude was meant to be like the right-hand man. This was like the big Greek dude.
So, well, I was thinking that if that's who this guy is, then it should have been the guy who was holding the rope on the farm. And they should have made that clear.
Yeah, and it might have been meant to be the same dude, but you're right. Kiedis had a much more of a distinct look about him.
Yeah, he was recognizable. Anyway, he like it was like
it wasn't Anthony
like,
Kiedis. We keep saying Kiedis.
Yeah, it's
it was not
goon.
actually him. It was his spiritual
punk pirate
twin,
road warrior pirate guy. So anyway,
he had the same energy, the same sort of physique and look as Anthony Kiedis.
Gibson glances over at Fender in the distance with Haley. Then he sizes up this pirate. The guy pulls a knife, does this little like X across the arms pose and says, "I kill slingers." It's a little late to be announcing new information, sir.
It was world-class bad ADR work. Like put that in the ADR Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I get that it's a lot cheaper to shoot this shit without sound, but that was so shitty, man. I think cheap was like the name of the game making this movie, where they were like,
they didn't have a sound, they didn't have a crew.
Ken was in the midst of a bankruptcy, I feel like, and they're just like, yeah, we don't have a sound crew, so you just film it in everything. All sound that you hear is going to be ADR and Foley work. So
back in the building, Bra Pirate's kicking Natty's ass. Then the movie cuts back and forth a lot between two fights, the fight with Gibson and the fight with Natty. So inside with the ladies, Bra Pirate's throwing Natty around the room, which looks like a restaurant or a bar. She kicks Natty over the bar, then back onto the bar. Then she pulls her back off the bar. Then she punches her back over the bar onto a little table that collapses.
That shit made me laugh.
I was like, what, that tiny table?
When it just collapsed.
It was like,
it reminded me, do you remember when Yoda was fighting Palpatine and sort of flipped him over that desk, and it was just an awkward fall? And I'm like, that makes me laugh. That's
funnier
more
to me
realistic
than that table was like barely screwed together, so just supposed to immediately give way, and it just kind of like leant to one side.
Yes.
Anyway, Bra Pirate climbs and jumps off the bar, pulls a knife, and goes to stab Natty, but Natty has her own knife and stabs Bra Pirate in the belly.
I don't know why they weren't using the knives earlier, but they've both produced their knives now, and yes.
And yeah, the tale is wrought for Bra Pirate. Outside, Gibson catches the pirate's knife-swinging arm, kicks him 5 uninterrupted times in the stomach, then 3 or 4 more times before switching to the guy's face.
It was the trademark
just
JCVD
over and over
shit.
and over. So after kicking the guy in the face several times, he does a JCVD roundhouse that sends the dude staggering backward into something that was over there burning, despite the fact that it's raining torrentially.
Torrential downpour.
The guy catches on fire and starts screaming. He staggers back toward Gibson, who does yet another roundhouse kick, which causes the guy to stumble onto the front end of a burned out old car. And somehow, some way, the guy explodes.
He blew up.
Which sends Van Damme's stunt double spinning and flailing backward.
The dude just blew up.
Were these booby traps that he'd set, like the fire and like rigged some explosives on the front of the end of the car?
You gotta show that.
Why did the car explode?
I don't know. We're not making that
Why did the dude
assumption.
explode?
There's no chance in hell.
No.
Yeah, dude just blew up. The guy blew up.
Yes, perfect. So anyway, Fender and Haley look on, silhouetted against the flames. We get a shot of some boots. See that Fender is taking off his greaves and chainmail, dropping them on the ground.
Bro, why are you taking off your armor?
Yeah,
before a battle.
Keep your armor on, dipshit. So Gibson, still rattled by the exploding pirate, picks himself up.
This is where, though, Fender's fucking shredded up, dude.
Yeah,
if I looked like that, I wouldn't be wearing all that other shit.
Maybe that's why he was like, I don't need armor.
I didn't get shredded up tonight.
You can't pierce my muscle, Dad. Oh, yeah.
That's just carbon fiber and Teflon.
Fiber, uppercut. So Gibson, still rattled by the exploding pirate, picks himself up out of the water, turns to see Fender walking towards him, and Fender's taking off his Madrigal uniform finally. Haley seems conflicted as she watches. We get a shot of Gibson standing erect and flexing. with Fender's boot in the foreground and a knife strapped to the calf.
It was like a sort of Western type shot when they showed the gun on the hip. Yeah.
So the two yoked men stare at each other, both of them flexing. Like, Fender's doing that thing where his pelvis is way out and his arms are way back. Like he's like,
it was a weird pose.
It's like, it is. I counted 42 full seconds of silent, flexed, muscly stare down.
I was like more like 48. But in a movie that's only 82 minutes of screen time,
between 40 and 50 seconds is too long.
I did the math. That was a full 1% of the movie was them just staring at each other silently in the rain.
God. Finally, Fender takes his glasses off and shows that insane blue eye. Blue lightning strikes.
Lightning crashes.
And so does a screaming Gibson. He goes in for a kick. Fender catches it and starts punching the crap out of him. Gibson's knocked off balance, but rights himself and goes for another kick.
Fender's entire fight style is just like one long sustained scream.
And it's
roaring. I feel like he's legit screaming for the next 10 minutes straight of the movie.
Can't tell from the sound effect whether Gibson's second kick is supposed to have landed or whether it was blocked, but it makes no difference because Fender just like keeps punching him. Haley looks like she wants to run in and do something, but she's not sure what.
Mm-hmm.
Gibson manages to finally get in a backhand. Fender hits him again. Haley takes a step forward like she wants to intervene, but she still doesn't. Then Fender lands several more punches, the last of which knocks Gibson up onto the hood of a car and through whatever is left of the car windshield, which was covered with like vines or hay or grass or something. A dazed Gibson starts to try to crawl out of the car, but Fender meets him by the driver's side door and slams the door on his head several times. Like, wouldn't once be enough to make you like move?
I feel like
he hits him 3 times.
Several times would kill a man.
Yeah. Why take several blows to the head?
Did you read the shit that I read where like during this fight scene, Fender lost one of his colored contacts? And they like, that was the only set they had. And they were like,
he had to run back to his trailer and blinked and
they found, oh my gosh, it's actually still on my eyeball or whatever. It just had rolled up. But that's how low. That's how low budget the shit was. Shut it down for hours because we only had one set of blue contacts.
That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
That's amazing to me.
So anyway, Haley runs over finally and's like, please stop, yelling at Fender. Fender looks over at her, eyes the necklace she's wearing, and could it be for the first time that he's putting the pieces together?
It was only on my like 4th viewing of the movie that I think I realized that in this moment Fender's remembering there's a connection between.
He's like, oh yeah,
I did get her when I killed that dude.
I remember he's like, this is the guy that I almost killed on the farm.
I thought he was dead.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, he seems to now know like, oh yeah, I came by Haley this way, and it was by way of this guy.
Yeah, he got her on that farm.
He gives this big, evil smile as if he finally gets it. Haley begs him to stop. Then Fender strides around the car, grabs Haley by the back of the head, and stands over her menacingly. Gibson tries to collect himself in the car. He like looks up just as like Natty comes stumbling out of the bar, and I guess Pearl's knocked out because she's nowhere to be found.
Yes.
Her fragile metal skull wasn't meant for little falls.
The hard drive is corrupted.
Yeah. So Gibson seems to be back at himself just in time to see Fender try to forcibly kiss Haley, who turns away.
That shit was gross, dude. Yeah. That's even more disturbing than if he'd like hit her.
Yeah. I guess Fender sees Natty approaching because then he draws a knife and screams some.
It was impossible to tell what was happening because it went from like one shot of Fender holding Haley to the next shot he's just got a knife raised and he's screaming, and I don't know who he's planning to stab with it. I think actually it turned out that it was Haley maybe that he was about to stab.
Well, he first sees I thought it meant that he sees Natty, and then from behind Gibson gives an epic Van Damme and kicks through the glass of the passenger side rear door, hitting Fender in the back. Then Fender turns to face Gibson, still screaming, now with 2 knives. He's got 2 knives.
Of course.
Natty yells no and attacks, but Fender slices her in the belly.
Yep.
She falls back. Gibson yells, for the first time in the movie, her name, Natty!
The only time in the whole movie that her name is said out loud.
the epic scream also just devolves into him going, so
he was like this, blah, and the plaster was falling down.
So then we see a shot of Haley finally getting it, that she's been on the wrong side for a while, or maybe she's always known it, but just it took this to snap her out of it. So while Natty's on the ground bleeding out, Fender, with an absolutely maniacal smile on his face and knives in each hand, turns and approaches Haley.
He's just flexing and screaming.
But interesting, it seems to me that Haley's got a like bring it on motherfucker look on her face as he's coming toward her. Right as he's about to get to her, Gibson kicks open a car door right into Fender, which pushes him back and causes him to drop his knives. Gibson crawls out of the car, and Fender, still just screaming and flexing, walks toward him. Gibson,
and suddenly he doesn't have his knives anymore. He dropped them for
gone.
reasons that don't make sense.
Well, the door surprised him, and it's wet, and my grip.
Sure.
So Gibson hops off the car, kicks the door as like a provoke, and then unintelligibly yells the word motherfucker. But you would never know that's what because it just sounds like that's all it sounds like, and which Fender responds to by more articulately yelling, "Motherfucker!" Yes. So Gibson's now standing between Fender and Haley as Fender backs them up. Gibson goads Fender with a "come on," and doesn't block at all when Fender starts punching him.
No.
Fender just starts, and he's just standing there with his arms to his side, and Fender starts punching him in the head.
And Fender's face is like frozen from now on in this like open mouth sort of scream face.
It is one of the most macabre, grotesque looking facial expressions I've ever seen. It's like, how can a face look like that in real life?
How can you hold that face?
It looks like it should be a mask, like a rubber mask or something. Anyway, he's probably coked out of his mind.
Absolutely.
So the action goes on like this for a couple of beats. Fender hits Gibson a couple of times. Gibson hits Fender once in response. Then for the first time, Gibson manages to string together consecutive shots. However, Fender comes charging back and keeps punching Gibson so hard that it like spins him around. Gibson lands a few more punches, but then Fender gets a combo that pushes Gibson back against some stacked up sandbags. Then Fender does this crazy scream again, reaches back, and if you thought he was going to pull another knife, you were exactly right.
He's like, oh, wait, I do have another big knife.
He still hasn't pulled the one on his boot yet, the one we saw. So anyway, he slices Gibson's right cheek, and it occurred to me that Gibson ought to have a big scar on his left cheek from the fight right before his crucifixion, but I couldn't remember if I'd like seen it.
He heals quickly.
Yeah, he believes in Jesus. So right after this, though, Gibson grabs Fender's arm, does like 3 flying knee drives to the elbow, and based on subtitles, it like breaks the arm.
Yeah, bone snaps.
Yeah. So Gibson wrests the knife away and goes to strike, but Fender shields himself with his arm, and the knife goes like right in his forearm.
That was gross.
And then, undeterred by stabbings and broken bones, he punches the shit out of Gibson with his good arm. And as Gibson turns again to face Fender, Fender goes to punch him again with his good arm, but Gibson stabs him like right in his sternum.
What was weird is Gibson all of a sudden had the knife in his hand again.
I don't think he ever lost it.
Was it not in dude's forearm?
I think that when he like punched him, that it like he pulled it out, but he still had a grip on it.
Maybe.
That's the only thing that I can think of.
It has to be.
Yeah. So blue lightning flashes and Fender falls backward into the flooded street. He groans and tries to sit up, but then collapses back and seems to die.
Whew. Boy, I'm sure glad he's dead.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie.
And definitely not about to come back.
Roll credits. So Gibson, who does have a trace of a scar on his left cheek, but who one couldn't help notice that the brand new slash wound is not bleeding at all.
Okay.
No blood on his face.
He's a cyborg.
Is he? He turns to look at Haley. He walks over. There's a long pause, and he tries his best to say her name, which comes out, Helly. He says, Helly. Helly. She comes in for a hug. Everyone's emotional.
It's super awkward. It's so awkward. I loved banging your sister is what he's thinking about. You're next.
Maybe you're next.
Play your cards right.
So then fucking Fender jumps up.
This is where the long scream, the 5-minute scream.
And he grabs Gibson with both hands and looks even more insane. But let's not let's not forget that one of his arms is broken.
Yeah, his arm's broken. He's got a punctured lung or pierced heart.
That old pierced heart. He spins Gibson around and throws him through a boarded up storefront and into the building.
Yeah.
They come crashing to the floor, and Gibson gets his hands on Fender's throat, and they start rolling around. After a few excellent Van Damme, Gibson gets this crazy angry look on his face, a la when Frank Dux is about to do a dim mock.
Ducks.
Is about to do a dim mock.
No, it's Dukes.
It's Dukes, like put up your Dukes.
Like put up your Dukes, huh?
So he gets that look, like wide-eyed, flat hand, and it does look like he either headbutts him or does that flat palm strike against Fender's head. Anyway, it knocks him backward against a wall where we see a bunch of chains and giant hooks.
This is where we hang up our chains.
Yes, this is the chains and hooks section.
If you know me, you know if I see a hook like that, someone's got to get impaled by that motherfucker before I'm happy.
What were they selling? Hooks and chains.
This is the hooks and chains depot.
So Fender comes at Gibson, tries to punch him with his broken arm.
Yeah, that shit was supposed to be broken, but he's fueled by like crazy and whatever drug cocktail that he or the actor was on.
So Gibson twists the broken arm around and down and then kicks Fender back against the chain wall. Fender comes again, this time with his good arm, but Gibson gets a combo in, then puts Fender in a headlock and rams his head through a wall.
Yeah.
Gibson pulls him out, elbows him a couple of times, while Van Damme's going, ah, ah!
And there was this sustained Fender scream.
And then knocks him back a third time into the wall. Then with a final flourish, he does this big ass like kick. It's not really a flying spin kick, but it's like this kick that sends Flender sends Flender.
Fuck it all.
Airborne and backward, and you guess that he gets impaled on a giant hook.
Hell yeah.
So
lots of dudes getting stuck on hooks in these movies, I've noticed.
So Fender screams until the audio engineer turns the volume down. It's literally like, oh! And then his eyes go vacant and his head drops.
Although it didn't really like droop the way that a dead person's head would droop. It didn't droop all the way down. It was like halfway down.
So a spent Gibson looks at the dead Fender for a while, then lets out a big sigh and exits the building. In the bar where Natty and Bra Pirate duked it out, Pearl finally comes to, naturally.
Just in the nick of time.
I guess they
It would have been great, dude, if it was like, oh, that blow to the head corrupted all the data.
I guess they didn't do anything to make her like a strong or helpful cyborg.
Nah, fuck that.
So she walks outside and finds Gibson and Haley standing over Natty's body, which I didn't remember that she died. That's sad.
I will admit I did not expect the death of Natty.
Yeah. They put her up on the hood of the car.
That's why I feel like he walked over and they was just like, they're all exchanging glances. And he's kind of like, you know, four-way? you, me, the cyborg, and a corpse?
Necrophilia. Her body's still warm. So, yeah, they all exchange glances. Gibson puts a hand on Natty's brow.
It was more like he just like palmed her head.
He looks very sad, though.
Yeah.
Then he looks up at Pearl searchingly as if to say, like, is there anything you can do? But it doesn't look like there's anything Pearl can do. But it also is fitting because, like,
I think it was like, yeah, I wasn't strong enough to get you here, right? Now my friend's dead.
But also, like, Natty's one and only goal in the thing was to make sure nothing happened to Pearl, and she did.
Yeah.
So it's like
success.
She fulfilled. And so, like, in that regard, I feel like it's like that's sort of the look that he was trying to give her. Not that anyone would construe that but us. But anyway, we flash forward and we see the head scientist guy from earlier in the movie who was telling Pearl how gnarly being a cyborg was going to be. He welcomes her home. They smile and hug it out. And he asks, were you able to retrieve the data? And she says, yes, I pulled it off thanks to this shirtless, scarred up Gibson, who I guess was just standing behind them.
Why he's still shirtless? It's completely nonsensical that he doesn't have a shirt on.
He didn't have one from the days that he must have been hanging out in Atlanta waiting on Fender.
They wouldn't give him a shirt to wear. Honestly,
like someone said, "Here, bud, put a shirt on."
If I looked like Van Damme, I'd never wear a shirt.
Yeah, same. Summer, winter, fall.
Walk into work.
Hello,
hey guys,
and they're like, we get it. We get it. It's actually in the code of business conduct that's allowed for you. So Pearl's like, you should stay with us. But he touches Haley's arm as if to say, like, we got to roll, and walks out saying, and we don't see it because it's dubbed, they need us out there. Let's go. So
thank God Haley's got someone new to control her now.
yeah, exactly, right? She's got
so
no mind
weird.
of her own.
He's taking her like right into a fire from the looks of it, is how much smoke was in that hallway.
I was like, so Pearl takes a few steps forward to watch Gibson and Haley descend into some like heavy fucking fog and says, it's strange, but I feel he's the real cure for this world. Which is like, well, then what's this movie been about?
Dude, that ranks high on the list of worst bits of writing that we've ever seen on this podcast.
I feel like he's the real cure for the world.
He's the real cure for this world.
You're a robot. You are like, you should be beyond, I don't know, RoboCop wasn't. RoboCop was a cyborg. He still had human emotions. But that's stupid. That's stupid.
That's weird. It was just garbage writing.
So anyway, at the bottom of the stairs, Gibson and Haley pause a moment in some beautiful side lighting and look back at Pearl. Then they roll out into the darkness. The scientist leads Pearl up some stairs, and a fortified-looking folding door closes behind them.
The door was pretty dope.
What we don't see, and this is my theory, is that the data stored inside her, they needed it to be in a cybernetic organism because they still needed living tissue. Because they killed Pearl. They dismantled her and used her to make the cure. They killed her.
Oh, shit. I'm into it.
They needed the living tissue. They needed a living body to get
it was
back.
like the cure was inside of her living tissue?
Literally inside of it. That like once she downloaded whatever information, that it was like combined in the cybernetic.
Her body like made the cure within her body?
So it would have been amazing if after that door had closed, we'd heard a chainsaw or a drill. That's my theory.
I like it.
And it would have been like sinister as fuck if they closed the door and it was like after all that they're like, well, now we've got to kill Pearl. That's the only way to get the cure. So
did her body, like the computer, the CPU, like created it? It was like a laboratory in her body.
I think that it like
a laboratory.
What do you call it? It synthesized the cure inside of her in her genetic material.
I'm into it, bro.
So I'm saying we should rewrite this movie. But then that's the thing is, well, I'm not. Never mind. I was about to spoil something for you, and I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
but anyway,
hold on.
I'm not going to spoil it for you. Something about a different something. Unrelated to this movie.
All right.
So anyway, it would have been awesome, but that's not what happened. It faded to black, credits roll. We don't know what happened. There was maybe going to be a sequel. But
there
anyway,
was plans for a sequel.
That's Cyborg, and we know this because we get a closing title card with a reminder that this has been a Golan Globus production, as if we needed that reminder.
Menachem, Yoram, you magnificent bastards. You've done it again. Another fucking solid gold hit. Fucking flawless flick.
I almost squirted bourbon out my nose. So...
But yeah, people love to call this movie like the sequel to Masters of the Universe, like that it turned into Cyborg, which isn't exactly true.
Right.
The movie used the sets and the costumes from Masters of the Universe 2 and the Spider-Man movie that apparently Canon had the rights to.
I wish that they had made the Spider-Man movie.
Did they have a Spider-Man cast? Do you know who that
Probably Van
was?
Damme.
There an actor?
Van Damme is Peter Parker. My name is Peter Parker.
It should have been, I don't know who.
I'm here to save Mary Jane.
It would have been Rob Lowe or some weird shit. Ralph Macchio as Spider-Man.
Oh,
does he have the
sort
sass,
of weird,
the pizzazz?
dumpy? Yeah.
But basically this movie used the sets and the costumes from those movies.
It was it was supposed to be the Masters of the Universe sequel. That
right.
And then that Spider-Man
Canon
movie.
Basically it sounds like they let the rights lapse.
Right.
They had to deal with Hasbro or whoever it was and Marvel to make these movies, but then they were so fucking broke they couldn't keep up their end of the deal, so they lost the rights, but they had the sets built. Mm-hmm. So they were like, well, what can we do with this?
Yeah, they'd already sunk $2 million into costumes and sets.
Stuff. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I read.
Desperate to get something out, they got Pyun, who was apparently going to be involved in both those movies.
Really?
Yeah, to scramble and he cobbled together the germ of the story for this movie, Cyborg,
Okay.
in one weekend.
I believe it.
He had Chuck Norris in mind for the part of Gibson.
Okay.
But Menachem said, no,
that would have been fucking worse.
we got to use my boy. We got to use my guy.
We got to use the young up and comer.
I can see why he would want to use someone who's a little older, but then that would have been super creepy, like in the Mary scenes and stuff.
Yeah, he's like old enough to be her dad. But that would have also, Chuck Norris had to command more money.
Yeah.
Van Damme was probably basically willing to work for like
I don't know.
Scraps.
I don't know. Like Chuck Norris was at the end, like he was past the height of his popularity by this point.
Did we ever talk about, did you like the movie Sidekicks? Did you watch that one with Jonathan Brandis?
What do you mean?
Chuck Norris?
Like. What do you mean like?
Did you enjoy it when it was new and you were like a teenager?
Well, yeah, because I was like, man, Jonathan Brandis is cool. Chuck Norris is cool.
Yeah, I dug it.
Yeah.
That was like a perfect thing for Norris to
But that was
do
also,
at that
but
point.
that was also because I was like, I wanted to take karate lessons.
Yeah. No, but I think it's dope.
Or
that was like
ninja.
a great thing for him to segue into
Yeah, agreed.
later in his career, Norris.
So
Plus, that was like some of the more charismatic Norris I've ever seen. I've watched a couple of Chuck Norris movies, and he's garbage.
yeah, he's terrible. He's got no charisma. It's when he's playing himself, it's like he's at a Comic Con or something.
At least he knows what to do.
Yeah,
I know how to
when he's
be-
Chuck Norris,
I
when he's
know-
a character,
I
he's
know
like
how to act like myself.
perfect. Let's talk about this movie a little
I'm
bit.
sorry, back to Cyborg.
So the budget, according to Wikipedia, was less than $500,000.
Right, because I think there was a lot of sunk money already, and the
Mhm.
sets were built already, so they didn't count
Yeah,
that.
they'd already spent $2 million on sets and costumes that they repurposed for other movies.
Yeah.
The movie was shot in 23 days. We reckon
Wow, that's quick.
23 days in Wilmington,
And maybe Arizona,
North Carolina, and maybe Arizona. That $500,000 included Van Damme's salary.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So even though the movie's hot trash, the movie still had to have made money, right?
It made between 9.5 and 10.2, but 10.1 or 2 is the generally accepted figure for what it grossed internationally.
That's a killer profit.
Yeah. It's
That's
amazing.
20 times.
It sucks that it wasn't enough to keep Canon afloat, probably because their debts were so deep.
Well, 10 million is not a lot.
Yeah.
They probably owed Stallone
50.
$50 million.
So yeah, as we talked about, they were broke doing like getting ready for Masters of the Universe sequel. Canon planned doing Spider-Man as well. Pyun was apparently on deck to do direct both those movies.
Where did
From
they
what I read-
find this fucker?
I don't know, man. We know that because of the financial trouble, they had to back out of the both movies, that Pyun scrambled to get Cyborg together. Apparently, Van Damme, as we said, injured one of the guys, blinded him an eye. Like, that cost almost as much as the movie cost to make.
But that came out of Van Damme's personal pocket,
Yeah.
right? Which is also weird.
yeah.
I'm like, I mean, this is like if it's
There's
an
no
honest
insurance?
mistake. That's how I feel about the Alec Baldwin situation, honestly, is like, if he's in trouble because he was the producer of the movie, that's one thing.
Right.
But if he's in trouble because he's the guy who pulled the trigger after like the weapons master
Yeah.
handed him a gun and told him it's a prop gun.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't blame the actor for that.
No, not at all.
Like, mistakes happen, I guess, but
It's a gruesome mistake, but absolutely, it's not negligence on the part of the actor if the weapons master has told you, yeah, this gun's good to go.
yeah. Now, if he's on the hook because he was the producer, so everything is his responsibility, then that makes more sense to me than because he's the guy who had his
But you
hand on the
also
gun.
wouldn't be like charged for manslaughter in that situation.
It'd be like negligent homicide
yeah,
or
exactly.
something odd. But apparently there was a director's cut.
Yes,
of the
I read a
movie?
lot about this. So the film was originally so violent that it was rated X. So they paired it, like, apparently with Van Damme's editing help, paired it back
And
to an
Sheldon Lettich,
Sheldon Lettich,
who was like, did he write Bloodsport?
I can't
also,
even remember. That
I feel
sounds
like
right.
He definitely wrote and maybe directed Lionheart,
Okay.
which we need to get to, and I think he was
Ooh,
his
yeah, we do.
co-writer on The Quest as well. But yeah,
And-
he's like his buddy or whatever. His
Yeah.
Hollywood friend.
So Yeah, we have to thank Van Damme for his editing expertise.
I
Otherwise, this
guess.
masterpiece
We
wouldn't
never
come
just
together.
never would have seen it.
Yeah, he spent 2 months helping parse this thing together. Rotten Tomatoes has it as 22%. I'd give it a solid 30.
Yeah? I ranked it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, 30%. There you go.
Yeah.
So also, yeah, as you said, there's a director's cut out there that we need to watch at some point that was released in 2014 in Germany under the film's original title, Slinger. You probably saw that Pyun's cut was in black and white, or maybe you didn't. Black and white, very stylized, had much more Van Damme dialogue, including a narration, but it was all dubbed.
I wonder what he sounded like. That's weird to me.
I read that the director's cut was received so poorly that Pyun was fired from the movie.
Yes. That's what I read, was they screened it for some people.
It was like 1 out of 100 people were like, yeah, it's good.
It's good. So usually you hear these things about like, oh, the director's cut was like the work of genius and the studio ruined it. And this sounds like the director's cut was somehow even worse than what we just watched.
But I'm very intrigued because, I don't know, maybe people's tastes weren't as refined. I don't know. Anyway, the original theatrical version does not explain what slingers are. In the director's cut, the opening crawl defines slingers as hired warriors who safely escort people out of cities and protect them from pirates.
That would have been even more of a knockoff of Blade Runner.
Yeah. Do you want to know what Roger Ebert said about this movie?
I definitely want to know about it. I know Roger Ebert put it on his like all-time most hated movies list.
He said, I think we've read part of it before, or I've read part of it to you before, but he said, I'm not sure I remember the opening words of Cyborg exactly, but I believe they were, after the plague, things got really bad. He said, I do remember laughing heartily at that point about 30 seconds into the movie. Few genres amuse me more than post-apocalyptic fantasies about Supermen fighting for survival. Cyborg is one of the funniest examples of this category, which crosses Escape from New York with The Road Warrior, but cheats on the budget. The movie takes place in
Escape from New York. That's a nice shout out, too.
Very good.
It is like we're trying to whisk someone out of this rough situation.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The movie takes place in a future world in which all civilization's been reduced to a few phony movie sets. Leather-clad neo-Nazis stalk through the ruins, beating each other senseless and talking in pulp speak, which is like English, but without the grace and modulation. It's cold in the future, and it's wet, but never so cold or wet that the costumes do not bear the arm muscles of men and heaving bosoms of the women. The plot of Cyborg is simplicity itself. The movie's heroine, Dale Haddon, is half woman, half robot, and wears a computer under her wig. Her knowledge may include the solution to the plague that threatens to destroy mankind, but first she must somehow return to headquarters in Atlanta. Her enemy, Fender Tremolo, Vincent Klin, wants to destroy her because he believes that if anarchy is unleashed on the world, he can rule it. The hero, Gibson Rickenbacker, is on a mission to escort her safely. Once we know the central players, the movie turns into a sadomasochistic passion play in which the village tries out varieties of unspeakable tortures on the hero, including crucifixion, before the formula is, of course, delivered safely after all. The movie reduces itself to a series of smoking, smoldering cityscapes which look a lot like urban neighborhoods slated for renewal, and the pulp speak is the usual combination of vaguely biblical formalism spiced with four-letter words and high-tech gibberish. Movies like this work if they're able to maintain a high level of energy and invention, as Mad Max does. They do not work when they lower their guard and let us see the reality, and this I love this line, which is that several strangely garbed actors feel vaguely embarrassed while wearing bizarre costumes and reciting unspeakable lines.
Oh, my God.
I'd say that's a rave. That's a rave review.
That's a spot on. That's an undressing of this movie.
He dressed it down.
Yeah, dude. The movie had rotten reviews for the movie. But, I mean, honestly, even in hindsight, it's terrible. Right?
I feel
like
it could be really good.
There's a seed of an idea there. It's not an original seed.
No.
This story has been told before and better by other people. But, you got to transport the solution to your crisis from here to there across post. I mean, we're watching The Last of Us, right? It's the same plot.
Yes, it's the exact same plot.
Oh, she's got
No
maybe
difference.
the secret to
She's got the cure.
to ending this.
Wow, yeah, it's the exact same
It
plot.
really is.
Yeah.
So anyway, shout out Last of Us ripping off
You guys
Cyborg.
fucking ripped off Cyborg, you assholes.
But I feel like Cyborg ripped off 10 other things,
Oh,
too.
yeah. Blade Runner, I mean, everything.
Blade Runner and Mad Max, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy ripoffs.
Golden Child, I mean, there are all kinds of movies from this era where
Yeah.
there's a supernatural being that's the key to something or other. Like the fucking Conan the Destroyer, the girl. She's like the princess is the key to the thing.
Well, we'll get to that soon enough.
Or the childlike empress, like all this stuff. It's like it's a quest story.
Well, it's one of those, what is it Lucas says, like there's only 5 stories
Yeah.
you can tell
Yeah.
or something, and this is one of them.
Yeah, the princess and the master, and then the quest, and then
What is this, The Quest? Or, I don't know them
this
all.
maybe
but
like cross genre, but yeah, this is like
We
this
gotta
is a quest movie.
we got to save the world, and we got to transport the savior.
We got to get the doodad to the thing.
We got to get the MacGuffin to the...
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. To the headquarters.
But you're right. This movie could have maybe been good.
If it had
But
budget,
even if it had been great, still would have been a Blade Runner knockoff.
yeah.
Blade Runner spliced with whatever, Thunderdome or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it still could have been better.
Yeah, and it was short, so it was great for us.
We
it
got
was
to give
great
them,
for us.
at least they knew we got to make this fucker short because it ain't good. No one wants to watch a long bad movie.
I wonder how long the director's cut was. We got to find that and watch that.
The black and white cut.
Yeah. I want to say, because it sounds like that was, maybe if it had like a samurai vibe, maybe it's kind of cool.
It should live somewhere, right?
And if it's in
YouTube?
black and white, then the violence wouldn't translate as bad. You know, it wouldn't translate as gory.
That might have been the whole idea. Was this going to be black and white? We're not going to see all the blood splatter, all those like the corpses on the crucifixes and the heads on the sticks.
Yeah,
or
you
whatever.
wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't
All right,
know they don't look real.
That's the assignment. I'm going to get online and see if we can find that thing, and then we'll watch it, and then we should do just one episode of that'd be fun, like a retrospective episode on
If
it.
we can find it, I'm in for it.
That'd be cool. All right, I'm going to look for it.
Do it, dude.
In the meantime, that's Cyborg, I guess.
Cyborg. Put on your Amazon Prime.
It's free.
Check it out yourself while it's still there.
Jean-Claude, thanks for listening. We love you. We feel like you were reined in on this movie. Probably
Crazy
not
to
your
me
fault.
that Dame Judi Dench tuned in through the whole saga,
Yeah, we've been
and
getting-
Daniel Day-Lewis.
We've been getting emails from both of them on the regular. Daniel Day-Lewis doesn't usually use email, but he's been emailing us from Patrick Stewart's email address.
Crazy that he uses Hotmail.
I know. Patrick Stewart. Actually, it's
No, it's Captain Picard at Hotmail.
PicardBalls@hotmail.com.
Fuck. Oh my god.
Picard balls.
We won't top it.
So we better sign off now while we're ahead. We love you guys. We hope you've enjoyed it. Check us out next time for whatever is coming.
Yeah, we'll be back.